Well, hello, folks. Happy Saturday. This is going to be the final ICT rant. It's probably not going to be a rant today. This is going to be like a closing thoughts discussion. And I don't have the time to do like questions and such. I just want to leave you with something before I go off into the sunset, closing out 2022. I will be doing these again in 2023. So I guess in February 2023, we'll be doing Saturday ICT shotgun Saturdays, whatever. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that you're going to want to lean on going forward and what you learned this year, and what you'll learn in 2023, and what the future looks like going forward with our community. So obviously, there was a lot of information laid in your hands this year. I gave you a beautiful model, and I regret that my daughter was not still interested in utilizing it. I just think she doesn't want to do it, no matter what it was I would have made for her to do it. I just think, her personality's not into it. She's she's a millennial, and she likes the things the way she likes them, and it's real hard to convert her mindset about things. So, unfortunately, college has indoctrinated her into the thought processes, unfortunately, that I don't agree with in the majority of today's society. So, still my daughter, I have to love her, and but I wish that she would have been more inclined to learning how to use the model like all of you have. I'm proud of my son Caleb. He's come a long way this year, and we're working towards getting him prepared to do his own live YouTube thing. There may be a lot of trial and error going forward with that in 2023. I'm not promising that he'll be out there solo. Obviously, he's just finding his footing, and I'm very proud of what he was able to accomplish this year. I'm thankful that his interest is still peaked and he's still chugging away at it. And I believe that his success is rubbing off on the other ones. Okay, I think that my other sons, the younger ones that are with me, still in the house, I think they're interested more now because they're like, I want to do what Caleb's doing, and you do. I just want to do that. That I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. So it's working. Keep your prayers in for them, okay? Caden and Cameron are slowly coming around. Now they've always obviously, they told their friends growing up when they were little, I'm going to do what my dad does. But they really never had an active interest in it because it's video games and kids and things like that. Anyone with children, you know what I'm talking about. But they're entering that age where they want to impress their significant others, their girlfriends, and their peers, their friends. And while they don't go to school publicly, they still have their little circles that they pal around with. And why I don't generally like for them to talk about, who I am and what I do. Invariably, it always creeps in because their parents will ask, what do you do? And I just got to tell them I'm a superhero and I can't tell you everything. So, anyway, this year's been wonderful. I've had so much fun. I've been able to cut loose a little bit and be footloose and fancy and free in front of all of you, and I've enjoyed that. I've seen some posts saying that they may be shutting Twitter down, and I mentioned the other day on Twitter, and being facetious, obviously, um, that should Twitter go the way of the dinosaurs, I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, I was just reading some of the posts and some of the things that Elon was doing, and if by chance, this app goes, you know, see you later and closes down or whatever. I don't think it will, but in the event that it does, I'll just go right back over to the YouTube community post and I'll open up the comment sections for that area. But I like Twitter. I like Twitter because it's open. Everyone can talk to me. Everyone can comment. They can agree with me or disagree with me, and that's fine as long as it's respectful. I don't mind an opposing opinion. I don't mind that at all. It's why I'm here. I want everyone to know that they're able to reach out and touch and see me and talk to me. And I'm not hiding from anybody. I'm not hiding from anyone. We're out here talking. Okay. And I've been very impressed with the growth of our community. I'm very thankful that the camaraderie that everyone has had towards one another. Basically, there's been a few of you that have been rabble rousers. Sometimes you like to bite each other, even though you're all part of the same family here. And I think that's something that we got to work on as a community. I don't like the negativity. I don't like folks looking down on other ones, because if you don't know how long they've been involved with learning what I do, and sometimes a neophyte coming into our community may ask a question and they're generally interested, and they may not have digested the videos. They may be, like I mentioned in a response the other day, somebody said, "Hey, look, I just found your page. Can you send me a link to wherever your material is?" And that's going to happen, especially with the growth that we've seen. And I'm so honored. I'm so thankful that so many of you have really taken the initiative to look into what it is I'm teaching. Because it's one thing to subscribe to someone's opinion or a group of people that don't like me or think that, what I do is, you know, not the best way of doing things. I'm obviously biased. I believe that there's nothing better than what I do, and I don't think there's anyone out there that's better than me. I've opened myself up to that this year again, and a lot of people have promised going into 2023 they're going to be in the Robbins Cup, and I'm looking forward to that. I have several students that are going to be making their way into that too. And my advice to you is go slow. Go slow. If you look at the past years in that competition, it's only a couple 100%. And frankly, if a student of mine gets up on a leaderboard, again, I've already had that. I've had Hutchinson. He's a student in my mentorship. He made his way up on there, kept pushing a little too hard and fell off, and that's fine. But I'm proud of that. I'm proud that he got himself up there. Gate Trader, which is Steve Michael Garner, he's a guy that won the stock division in 2001. So I've had two people make their way up on the leaderboard. One won, and another one wasn't able to sustain himself. And I think it's because he was just pushing too hard. And if I was being honest with you, I think he was just trying to impress me. So don't try to do that. Don't try to do that at all. Because if you make a modest return each month consistently, you'll stay on the leaderboard and you might even win. 200%, 300%, I think, would keep you on the leaderboard the entire year. And that's easy to do. But the problem is you get excited and you want to do more. And you look at those other stats. If someone does 1,300 and I think 1,350, 1,350%, you would be the second highest person in the history of that competition. And 1,350% is doable. It's very easy to do that if you are diligent about managing your risk going forward. Don't try to trade every day. Don't try to push it every single day. Look for the low-hanging fruit. And this goes for anyone, not just the competition folks that are out there getting ready for battle. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show the world. You don't have to defend me. I'm ready to defend myself. But for those that are out there trying to do that or wanting to do that, just slow your roll. Just try to do what it is that makes comfortable sense to you. Don't try to stretch yourself beyond your means. Okay. You've never really been in an area where running up in an account real fast, you have no idea what that feels like. And it will change your way of following your model because you'll think that you're doing way better than you really should be thinking. In other words, you'll take bigger risks, you'll trade more frequently just to outpace what you've already done. And that's the mistake that everybody in that competition and every other competition makes. They keep trying to tweak it a little bit more, twist a little bit more. I'm not satisfied with this. Let me go a little bit more. If you have a winning day, stop there. There's been so many people in that competition. I watch it every single day. I love watching the fluctuations of individuals going up and down, up and down. And you can see that they're taking enormous risks, enormous, and they're not really giving themselves the proper chance to win. And I've watched guys last year do incredible run ups in equity. And I've literally said, look, if this person could stop right now, they're number two. And that's the second highest person. When I say number two, not number two in the ranking on Robbins Cup, but they're number two next to Larry Williams' highest return. Now, it wouldn't be even close to it, obviously, but still, they were there. All they had to do was stop, but they weren't satisfied. That's the problem with competitions. You end up becoming addicted to beating your imagination. What could you have done if you would have held on that last trade, or if you would have taken this many more contracts or this many more lots? And that is the problem with competitions, because you lose sight of what you're trying to do. You get drunk with the bloodlust of trying to vanquish everyone else, and you lose sight of just doing enough to win. That's all you got to do, just do enough to win. Anybody that goes into that competition, anyone, I have the utmost respect for. I've always said this because that's a very, very hard competition. Because once you appear on the leaderboard, your ass better stay there. Because otherwise, everyone watched you fall off. Flash in a pan, one hit wonders, making it to number 5 spots and falling off the very next day with someone with a lower percentage rate. That's not all that impressive. But someone that can climb up consistently, even if it's small incremental gains, man, that's, in my book, that is respectful. That's respectable, rather. I have the utmost respect for that because, number one, everybody can see you. There is no safety net out there. Multiple accounts can't save you. One account gets on that leaderboard. One. That's it. And it better stay there. And that's what happens when people finally get to that leaderboard and it's 5 spots. And those returns are not even that big. But they end up chasing the people around them on that leaderboard. Or if someone's starting to climb up, let me make sure I gain some more distance between them and I. Don't do that. If you literally look at what they have done over the years in the history of that competition, they haven't had a lot of big run-ups. It's a couple 100%. That's it. And you can do that with 12% a month. 12% a month is easy, folks. It's really, really easy. What makes it difficult is you're not satisfied. When you get what it is that you require for the week, you just want to do it again because, it doesn't feel like you're being productive. It feels like you're not doing the things that a trader should do, when in fact, that's exactly what a trader does. A trader looks for opportunities that are so overwhelmingly in their favor, not just taking every potential setup and saying, well, I win more on average. That's, to me, foolish. You want to be able to keep things in line with what's the highest probability for you to have a favorable outcome. Meaning, why should you, even though you've seen me and maybe other traders too, buy and sell on the same day? Why should you, as a developing student, try to do that? Focus on where is the largest magnitude, higher or lower in price. Is that daily range going to expand higher or lower? If it's going to be expanding higher, focus just on buys. There's no reason for you to be in there trying to impress yourself or me. And I see you guys doing it. You're posting stuff saying, hey, look, this is what I did. Sometimes there's days where I know that you got lucky there. And I'm not going to high five that. When it's a one-sided day and individuals have worked at one side only, I usually like or heart those posts because you're doing what it is I've taught you. Every single one of you, even in my mentorship groups from even 2016, none of them should be expecting themselves to be able to go up and down all day long in the same market, buying and selling. I don't think that they should have that expectation of themselves. That takes a high degree of focus, experience, and frankly, it's not easy to do that. It took a long time for me to do that because sometimes I would get in there and I'd be right, but I'd hold on to it too long and it would come back and stop me out and it'd be a losing trade. Or I'd go in, I'd have a winning trade, I'd add more, and then leave the stop lower then, moving it up. And wherever the original stop was, I'd leave it there. And then by building in bigger position, now I take a larger hit than I initially would have if I just would have put one position on. Over time, I learned how to do less of that on the wrong side. And my bigger positions would be in favor of the direction of the candle on the daily chart. In other words, if it's more likely to go higher, or not necessarily close higher, but expand. The biggest move of the day would be seeing more movement to the upside from the opening. Then buying in those types of days, majority of my risk will be on that. Now, if I see a London close or a late afternoon, if it's an equities trade, I might trade back inside the range, or maybe it's a lunchtime fade that comes back for the stops or whatever. Then that's going to be a lot less risk, or allocated risk to that type of trade, because it'd be going against the daily expansion. That I would be favoring more risk behind that type of trade versus something that would be counter trend. Think of it like that. Like if we could look at it as a daily range expanding higher, that would be a buy model for the daily interval. So if that is the case, I'm not willing to take a very large position or pyramid going short in those type of days. Whereas I will go long in pyramid long if there's a classic buy model, or the expansion of the daily candle is expected in my analysis to go higher. And that would be in concert with what the expectation would be on a weekly candle. So core content this year has, in my opinion, offered a whole lot of distraction from that model. But I'm going to take you back to that 2022 model. You do not need anything else but that. Now, I gave you my mentorship, private mentorship, core content lessons, the same lessons, the very same videos that each month the subscribers to that community, they received each month. That was not mentorship. That was them learning the language. That way, when I'm sitting with them over the charts, that's why some of you still hear me talking in the videos. Well, what's consequent encroachment? And why is he talking about this? And what's he talking? You're not a charter member. You weren't mentored by me. My students know that. Okay. But because there's a lot of people that have abused my exclusivity by having that community, which is being shut down in 2023, it will not exist at all. It will be 100% public. I'm going to finish up with them, answer their questions, satisfy their interest in knowing what it is that they've been taught, and then I am 100% public. I will never create another exclusive community because it's been abused. If I ever put myself in a situation like that, individuals are going to simply take what I'm doing, knowing that there's more people outside the community than they are in it, and they can pretend that they created this stuff themselves, like you've watched happen over the last 6 years. Smart money concepts, bank trader strategies. It's all my stuff. All that stuff is mine. And I laid the core content in your hands to take away that market for them to simply sell the videos or pretend that they did it themselves or they discovered it. They never would have discovered this. They never would have done it. Do I regret ever teaching any of this? No. I made a promise. If I was shown how to do this and see everything, then I would spend the rest of my life teaching. I'm 50 years old. I'm not dead. Okay. I have a lot of energy in me that I want to direct to, obviously, education. I like doing it. I love being a teacher. And I think that I have a group of people that like listening and learning from me. And as long as I have that, I'll be, teaching. But I don't want to do a private mentorship where I'm running something that it's exclusive, where other people can take that and say, okay, you can't get in. So now I'm going to make a sub market and I'm going to do my own little mentorship and I'm going to copycat what he does or sell the lessons, because that's what I endured that for 6 years. And I warned them. And now finally they saw that I wasn't fucking around. So you fuck around, you found out. It's out there for free. Now you can argue and say, well, it's been over here. It's been over there. Yeah, it has. But now they know they can come here and get more for free. So there's no reason to be buying these easy Forex guys that are claiming they discovered, me and my team, we discovered a method that's been working. Just go direct them to my channel and you can save them money. Okay. Save them money by just simply taking them to my channel and they'll learn for free. Because if you can do what I've taught, you don't need to run your own mentorships, period. I've ended all that. There's no need for mentorships. I've literally put the nail in everybody's coffin in that regard. Now, if you want to run a signal service, whether you're using my content or something else, man, go for it. Go for it, because I listen. If I wanted to make millions of dollars a month again, all I got to do is open up an area where they follow me. This is what I'm going to do. I don't even need to take the trade. I can say, okay, this is a setup here. Boom. And the community that would be paying for that every month, I'd get millions of dollars coming in each month from that. I'm not interested, folks. Okay, I'm not interested. I'm fucking rich. I don't need any more money. I'm not trying to sell no software program. I'm not trying to sell no mentorship. I'm not selling anything. Okay, I just want to be me. I'm going to go back to where I was before 2016. I got a case of the ass. People were taking my stuff that were free then, selling it, and I wish I would have slowed down. I wish I would have slowed down and thought about it before I did it, because it put too much pressure on me and workload. And now, because I don't have to do all that anymore, I'm enjoying my life again. And I want to continue that and obviously elevate all of you that are willing to listen. So I want to touch on a couple topics and try to keep this under an hour. And the reason why, because I have a lunch date. So I want to kind of keep that. I'm not going anywhere, by the way. I have to make myself available to sit down and enjoy a meal with a family member. So one of the things that I thought that would be interesting and in my opinion, helpful to you, because I see a lot of these reoccurring issues with individuals posting. They'll say, why do you do this? Or why did you take that trade? Or why is this not working for me? And, I tried your mentorship and I'm failing. I saw a guy post the other day. He said he's lost like 50 times or something like that. I don't know. And in my opinion, I think that, and I asked the person, how soon did you start trading it? Because it's easy to watch the first couple of episodes and think, oh, I got this. You have no idea what you're doing. Zero. You don't know if that fair value gap's going to close. You don't know if it's even going to return to it yet. Why? Because you haven't studied anything in back testing. You haven't looked at how the previous moves have occurred. You haven't looked at market structure long enough to know that, oh, this is what it looks like when it's likely to do these types of things that repeat. Is the weekly range expansion bullish or bearish for this week coming? Have you done any work with that? How many of you are doing that? You don't see me talking about that because that's your job. That's my students' work. That's what you have to do. And then you wonder why I'm doing trades in a specific direction. Well, why'd you do that? Well, go back, okay, and look at what the market was likely to do based on the weekly chart. Is the weekly candle prior to us our new week opening, is it likely to expand higher and reach for some kind of inefficiency or buy side liquidity? You don't need to predict that closing price on Friday. You don't need that, folks. You don't need to predict the closing price on any individual daily candle. Market structure does not require you to have a closing below a swing low or above a swing high. These are questions that I see repeated many times. And if you simply would have paid attention in the 2022 mentorship, I literally spelled all those things out. I spelled them out perfectly, but you're not listening and writing down anything. You're just watching. You're wanting to see that billboard sign says, this is what you're looking to do. When your chart looks like this, when it's the important things that I've talked about that you young folks that don't want to listen, you don't want to listen. You want something cookie cutter, quick and fast. And that's why you're losing your ass. That's why you're losing money. It's not because my stuff doesn't work. It's because you're too impatient. You're too impatient and you're not listening. You're stubborn. And I know I was like that. I'm not knocking you for it, but I'm trying to tell you this is how you correct it. Because unless you correct this, it will never work for you. It will never work for you because you're not giving it its proper respect and you're not giving yourself the chance to follow it within the rules. You're trying to push too fast to try to do something. Listen, I know I hated it when I was working. I hated having a job. I hated in class. As I was studying, I didn't want to be in there. As much as I loved coding, I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be doing it. In my mind, I was thinking, I know enough. Just give me a job and I'll pick up the rest doing it. I know what it's like to think that way. And sometimes it may be hard for you because you're not making ends meet like you want to. You see other people doing well, they're flossing. Hey, I want to get there and do that too. Well, listen, it doesn't happen overnight. I'm not these Instagram gurus. Okay. I'm not telling you buy my course in 120 days. It's Lamborghini lifestyle from here on out. Nope. 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 You got to first learn how to be able to not lose. That's a huge milestone. You have no idea how hard that is for most people by itself. I don't give a fuck who you're learning from. I don't care who you're learning from, what you're learning, what their style of trading is, if they're using some software program, or if it's all discretionary trading. I don't give a single fuck who it is. Okay. I don't care who wrote a book, who's on the top sellers list. I don't give a shit how long they've been trading or who's done what. They are never going to make this part easier for anybody because it's all going to be a unique experience for each and every single one of us. You have to discover where you fuck yourself up. What's the thing or things, because sometimes it's multiple things. What's the thing that causes you to derail yourself? See, that's the missing puzzle piece that nobody really puts the work in. And that's why I tell everybody it's going to take you you got to spend at least a year with me. Not because it takes me a year to show you everything that is required to make money. You're going to see where you fuck up. And the problem is, some of you just don't want to admit that you fuck up. And that's unfortunate. And I tried to hide that when I was a younger man too, because I was like, there's no way. There's no way I'm making a mistake here because I'm doing exactly what this book said. Well, if I would have looked at that book with a diametrically opposed view on the marketplace, then this shit would have worked. But I kept doing it, thinking that it's something outside of me. No, it was me. I couldn't see what it was that was causing the issue. The issue was is I was repeating the same things over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And every one of these fucking books, every one of these authors, every one of these motherfuckers that pretended they had a reason to write a fucking book or worth listening to or reading, I had resentment towards them. And it took me into a position of I'm angry at everyone. I'm 20 some years old. I'm pissed off at the world because I'm thinking like you all now, these young folks, the world owes me something now because I put all this time and money into all this bullshit that ain't working for me. Somebody needs to pay reparations. Okay. Somebody needs to fix this shit. Okay. Because I've been hoodwinked here. And I discovered that there was a lot of things that I was doing that were all individual character flaws, but I didn't see it. I wanted perfection early on. In fact, I still pursue it, but I know I'm enough now at 50 years old. I don't need to have perfection, but I still pursue it. Does it make me, you know, hold on to a character flaw by pursuing perfection? No, I'm aiming perfection. I'm aiming for that. So even if I miss, I'm heading in the right direction. But if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit that every single time. Nothing. No progress, no positive results, no accolades. But you have to find a way to dig in when it feels like you should quit. And some of you probably felt that this year. You're in the beginning like, man, this is awesome. The videos kept dropping. Feel like you're learning something new each day, and you're seeing examples. I'm showing it. I'm clicking a button. I'm getting in there and pushing it. You saw it with live accounts too. But something happened for some of you, not all of you. Some of you, you hit a wall. You hit a wall, and you feel like something just is in the way. I'm going to tell you the three things that are in the way. Number one, you. You're impatient. And that's understandable. It's 100% understandable. There's no reason for you to not want it. Okay. Every reason for you to want it. And every single one of you deserve it. And that's the second part. Some of you deep down inside don't think you deserve to be successful. And I did what is that thing? That's another service I talked on. I can't remember. Oh, SoundCloud. Are you deserving? In my teachings over the years and teaching people how to do this stuff, I've discovered a lot of folks out there have this deep rooted question. They don't believe that they deserve to be successful. Like something in them, hardwired, prevents them from believing that they have a sense of worth. You know, who the fuck said you shouldn't be successful? Like who told you? What day did you wake up and someone sat you down and said, you know what? You're generally a nice person, all, but you really don't fucking deserve to be successful. You just gotta accept, living a mundane life of punching in and punching out, and just be content with that. Who the fuck is that? Who did that with you? Because I never had that. But unfortunately, the world has a tendency to wrap that cloak around us, and we wear it. And all you gotta do is unzip it and step out of it. It's a decision that you're making. You think that you don't deserve success? I'm telling you, do. You do. If you're willing to put yourself through all of these trainings, studying, back testing, pursuing it, you deserve it. Anyone that's not willing to do that, don't fucking even imagine for 1 second that you deserve to be successful, because you don't. Because laziness is absolutely never, ever going to be successful in this. It's not going to happen unless you subscribe to someone that's got a signal service and they're good, whether they do my stuff or something else. And there's nothing wrong with that either, because you know your limitations. You know that you can't do it, and that's fine. That's good. If you find that out early on, and then some of you are thinking, okay, well, how do I differentiate whether I'm not in a position to be successful, and I'm wrestling with, I believe I should be successful. Okay, that's something you're gonna have to work out on your own. You'll know if it takes years, for you to come to that conclusion. It may take that for some of you, but you honestly should at least try 2 years diligently. If you haven't really put in 2 years, because you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. And every guru, teacher, mentor, everybody out there, if they're worth any bit of listening to or subscribing to as a teacher, they don't have to like me, but I'm telling you, they have to admit this. You can't fix and teach everybody. You can't. No one educator has ever single-handedly turned every one of their students into a success. That's never happened, ever. Christ alone, himself, walking this planet, whether you choose to believe it or not, he still had some people saying, I'm not really interested. I can't do it. Walked on water. That wasn't enough. So you're going to come to a crossroads. If you haven't already met it this year, you're going to. You're going to come to a point. I'm in an area where my voice is echoing. Let me walk away here. Get back on the carpet. You're going to get to a point where you're going to feel these tug of wars, these internal wrestling matches that make you question whether or not this is really for you or not. I'm going to tell you something. Think about what you did all this week and what you're going to have to do next week at your job. Do you think you deserve that? Do you think you deserve the rest of your fucking life doing that? Because I'm going to tell you something. I couldn't stand that. I never had a boss where I loved him. I never went to work and said, I love you. I love working for you. I love giving you all my fucking family time. I love the fact you underpay me and you tell me when I can't fucking have a vacation with my fucking family. I have never found so much love for anyone else in my life. You, sir, you, madam, you have topped the lists in my entire life. and I swear my allegiance to you. The fuck out of here. Get that shit out of your mind right now. I don't give a fuck who tells you go to college, get all that. Fuck that shit. That's the stupidest fuck thing you could do with your life. You only have a little bit of time here, folks. Okay. 50 years went by like a fucking minute, man. 50 years. 50. You young guys. You think you're gonna fucking drag on and oh man, ICT's old, I got so much time. The fuck you do. You don't have any time. You don't have any time. Who says you're gonna make it to be 50? When I was younger, the way I was living, I didn't see myself past 25. So you have to do things correctly. You have to be diligent about your study, and you have to be realistic about your expectations and what results should you expect that are realistic. Doubling your account every month, that's not realistic. Trading multiple contracts, only being into this for a couple months, nope, that's dumb. Because you're teaching yourself greed and fear when you have drawdown. Whereas if you just simply did the least, learning how price lives and breathes in these charts, the money part, profiting, that's the easiest part of this. That's the easiest. What makes it easy? Knowing when not to do something, when to get the fuck out of your own way and pull your head out of your own ass. Those three things that plague everybody. Impatience. Stop being impatient. Don't be fearful and greedy. How do you accomplish that? By conquering those. Control your frequency in trading. Don't over leverage. Do the smallest amount. Because if you are consistently pulling out positive results with the smallest leverage possible, following the rules, you will get bored. You will get bored by doing that. And that is the very sweet spot that you're aiming for. When I'm doing 15, 20 contracts in the S&P, am I feeling any more excitement, trepidation, anxiety, concern whether my trade's going to pan out or not versus that or one single contract? No. No. I'm not looking at the money. I do that because you guys like to see it. I don't have that on my charts. When I'm focusing, I'm looking at just the price only. Watching the time and seeing where I'm in terms of price. Is everything still delivering as I would expect, as I teach you? But some of you lose your mind over a demo. Why? That's where you have to dig in. Find out what it is that you're wrestling with. Because you want your results quick. You want to be able to be self-assured. Because listening to these rants by me and listening to videos, they only feel good for the moment while you're listening to it, folks. You might have a little bit of a splash over experience when when the presentations end, and you walk around like, yeah, man, I'm cock strong. I'm walking around. I'm strutting with them. I understand. I feel you, ICT. I feel you, man. Preach. But then it wears off. Why does it wear off? Because you haven't done enough yet. See, some of my students in the past got pissed off and they get offended. Oh, you motherfucker. You don't even know how many weekends I've spent doing this. Okay. Weekends. We said a year minimum. And you're bitching. You're trying to have it your way. Okay. It's ain't Burger King motherfucking mentorship. Okay. It ain't have it your way mentorship here. When you come to me, this is the way it is. I don't bend. I don't change the way I do shit. You bend to these rules or fucking get up the road, man. Go find Mickey Mouse fucking mentorship. Okay. There's a lot of them out there. But when you fuck up and wreck yourself there, you'll be back here. And that's fine. Some of you need that. Some of my better students actually said, fuck it, I can't do this. I said, I got to go. Went and did other shit and came back and said, you know what? That was the best thing I ever could have done. I realized how much all that other shit doesn't make any sense. But some of you just simply are too new. You don't know what else is out there. Go explore it. Go explore it. Go do that. It's important for you to do that. I did it because you'll appreciate it more when you're holding the truth. And that's all I'm doing is laying in your hands the very truth that everybody can't see unless it's shown to them. By example, buttons being pushed, explained in advance why certain markets are going to be hard. Why is this day likely to fail? I didn't hide those things this year. I told you these are areas where I don't know yet. I have to wait for more information. Other days, this is what's going to happen. There it is. Week after week after week after week. And for my students, now it's been years after years after years after years. Consistency. Not perfect, but way above the industry standards. And you don't even need to be even close to that to do very well, folks. Your job, okay, your employment doesn't give a flying fuck about you. They might give you employee of the month, give you a fucking parking spot for a fucking week or whatever. You know what? Does that give you back the time that your family lost not having you around them? Fuck no, it doesn't. But because that little bit of a cookie, okay, that little bit of lift you up among your peers. You know what that does? It makes your peers fucking hate your fucking guts. Okay, they hate you. They don't like the fact that you got something better than them for a moment because they're miserable just like you are. So why are you pretending that that's where you want to stay? Why the fuck would anybody want to do that? And you want to go to college to do that for the rest of your life? That's dumb. That's too fucking stupid. It's stupid. Start your own business, man. Start your own business or businesses and invest. That's the way you do it. That's the way you succeed. That's how you beat this world. Okay, that's how you beat this life. That's how you outpace everything. Outpace inflation. I don't give a flying fuck how fucking much gas goes up. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Now, there's people that are hearing that and they're like, man, I can't do this and do that. And he's talking. I'm not talking down to you, folks. I'm just telling you a mindset that this gives you. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be wealthy. You just need to be able to live comfortably. And I believe I've laid that in every one of your hands this year with no excuse. None. I've taught you money management, risk management, trade selection, exactly when and how these trades form, when they are likely to fail. What days of the week are they likely to form most? That's all been taught to you. You don't ever need to buy anybody's bullshit ever again. Nothing. You're all waiting for my books. What have you done with what I already given you? What have you done with what has already been laid in your hands this year? Some of you, like my daughter, she wants to go back into college, again. For what? For fucking what? She's a history major. She wanted to be a teacher. Now, she doesn't want to be a teacher, but she wants to go back in and learn other useless fucking things. She wants to be a student. Why? I've been trying to find a way to tell her this without hurting her. But she wants to be a perpetual student because that community feeling that she feels there, that's what she's addicted to. She's addicted to that. And some of you, unfortunately, treat my videos the same way. See, she's not doing anything with the things that she's went to college for. She's a manager for a grocery chain. That's what she does. Didn't learn that in college, but that's what she's doing. She's going up for a promotion, and hopefully she can be a GM that, makes over 6 figures a year. And I hope she's successful. But she's talking about wanting to go back into college because she's indoctrinated. She wants to feel safe in. I'm not held to a point of producing anything from this information because, after all, I'm a student. And some of you are staying in that mindset without realizing it yet. And it may not even be just my content. As a trader, there's a moment where you got to take a step and say, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. I might fail. I might lose money. I might fall flat on my face, but fuck it. It's going to be fucking fun. It's going to be so fucking fun experiencing that because that's what life's all about. You got to get out there and do that. If I was afraid of failing when I was 20 years old, I would have quit. I'm not afraid of every single time I failed and blew an account when I was 20 years old, it just made me rock hard to want to do it again. I did not look at this and say, oh, what the fuck am I going to do now? Fuck that. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I'm going to go get a part-time job. I'm going to save up some more fucking money and I'm putting money in an account. There you go. That's what I'm doing. I'm not stopping. Fuck that. Because I knew enough to know that if I was losing, someone took that fucking money from me and I'm going to be like them. But I'm going to be like them more times than anybody else. And that's what I set out to be. I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be the man that says, fuck you, you can't have mine, but I'm taking all of yours. So you can't stay in that student mindset forever. I'm a student of the game. I'm a student of the markets. Fuck off. You got to step out there. Take a step out there. Experience it. And that's where your real learning occurs. It's scary. I know. And some of you are afraid to fail because you know that you don't want to fail and you don't know what the reaction is going to be. Are you going to have the same wherewithal to stay with it, even if you fail maybe once or twice or even 3 times? Are you going to quit? Are you going to change strategies? Are you going to look somewhere else? Because I'm going to tell you something. These motherfuckers out there don't know shit. They don't know anything. Every time I turn on YouTube, the same 2 yahoos are in there promoting their fucking horse shit. All these ass backwards gurus got it wrong. I'm using these 3 indicators to tell me, fuck off. Get the hell out of here, man. And they're showing charts where the chart barely even moved. And you see what we're doing. We're catching 50, 60, 100 handles in the S&P. Yeah. 400 ticks for the tick counters. You only need one of them a month. What's wrong with that as a model? Beats a day job. I wanted to grab all of you gently at the beginning of the year and shake you and say, wake the fuck up. There is a way to do this. It does not need to be complicated. You don't have to look at all my video library and say, what am I going to do with all this shit? Where do I start with this? I made it really easy. If you ever have a doubt as to where you want to begin with my content, just sit down with any one particular series. Start taking notes. And when you're done with that, think about what it is that comes to mind as a question or questions. And what pursuit of information would you want to delve into more? And log that in your study journal and then start another series. And some way or shape or form, you're going to find 90% of those questions get answered just by studying more. But here's the problem. The millennial mindset is, all right, man, get to the fucking point. I need you to teach me this. Show me how to get rich in a 5-minute video. And if you can't do it, fuck you, you're a fraud. Well, guess what? Enjoy working the rest of your fucking life. Okay. Because number one, I don't owe you shit, number one. 2, that mindset guarantees you're failing. Absolutely guarantees you are failing in trading. Nobody else will tell you that. I will. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about image. I'm not selling shit. I can walk the fucking talk. And here's the bottom line. My students are doing it too. And none of them that are successful right now or succeeding ongoing, none of them had that mindset of, show me, get to the point, 5 minutes, show me how to do it. There it is. I could not have done it any shorter, more to the point than what I've done in 2022. My hand to God, that's the best I can do to make it easy for you. If you can't do that, the problem is you. People are getting funded. People are getting cash payouts. They're making their own money with their own accounts. Okay. It's undeniable, folks. Undeniable. And that's another reason why I did it this year. All the doubters and the clouders. Argue now. Wrestle with it. You don't have to like me. I'm not here for friends. Okay. I don't believe I'm ever going to shake hands with any of you. I'm probably never going to sit down and have a meal with any of you. And your opinion of me doesn't matter. It does not matter. But I am actively interested in your success. I want to see that because 90% of you coming in all have the wrong mindset. All of you coming in want to do well, but 90% of you come in with the wrong way of thinking. And that's why I talk the way I talk in these videos, because I want to break that part down or remove you from the community. You'll do it yourself. You'll say, oh, this guy talks too much shit. Get to the point. Get the fuck up the road. Okay? There you go. That's the point. The point is, if you can't invest the time to know where the problem areas are going to manifest themselves in you, the human being, get the fuck out of here. I don't have any time for you. Don't waste your time. I won't fucking expect you to learn because you won't. But the people that are showing up every day, getting in front of those charts, putting the work in, studying, seeing what has done in the past week, the past month, where are we at in the grand scheme of things? What should these rules imply going forward for the week or the trading session you're looking at right now? And then study that. Log how it feels. Were you fearful? Were you excited? Did you see something that you were expecting to see unfold? And how does that make you fucking feel? You need to log that because there's going to be days where, hey, you're going to look at something, you're going to feel strongly about a particular outcome, and it won't happen. It'll go the other direction, or it won't do anything at all. And you're going to question yourself. That very moment, you're going to feel like, are they changing the algorithm? Is the system broke? Did ICT teach too many people? Oh, fuck. That is the silliest shit I've ever heard. Listen, folks, you need to know what it feels like to do it wrong. That's all it is. You did it wrong. When I lose money, when I put a trade on and I lose money, okay, whose fault is that? Mine. 100% mine. I did something wrong. How hard is that for you to accept for yourself? For some of you, it's impossible. You want to fault everyone else and everything. And I did that too as a 20-year-old. These guys wrote a book. For fuck's sake, it's got to be the fucking truth. It was illegal in my mind for anyone to write a book about trading if it wasn't real. Now, that's naive, but that's how I looked at things. They can't let these people put that kind of shit in print if it wasn't real. Yeah, I was a naive young man, wasn't I? So I can sympathize with some of you when you come to the realization this is a little bit harder than you thought it was going to be, because it was a little bit of a culture shock for me as well, how much I was going to have to invest into it. Not in the money. I can care less about that because I knew the outcome would take care of that. But the amount of emotional and psychological investment in myself when I wasn't seeing initial success, that was hard. That was hard. And I know that's the reason why you like the community here, because we're all like-minded. We have a hive mentality. We think everything else retail is bullshit. And we're focusing on sets of rules that repeat. And it looks complicated to everyone else, but it's really not that complicated. But we can see it. We can understand why it's happening. We understand and accept there's manipulation in the marketplace. We're not bitching and crying about it. Oh, they stopped me out, these fucking market makers. Know what? Keep doing what you're doing. That's the edge. You want to keep these guys in that position. Why would you want them not doing that? That's what makes the world go round. That's what puts the Willy and the Wonka in this chocolate factory. But it's hard. I know it's hard to dig deep when you don't see the success or the outcomes that you wanted to see as early as you're hoping to see them. But I'm here to remind you that this is a lifestyle that you've chosen. This is not a hobby. This is not a weekend warrior, National Guard type thing where you only go out there once in a while on a part time. No, you live this. You live it. That doesn't mean you strap up and you go out there every single day and try to take a trade. That's not what I'm saying. But once you know what you're doing, when you should be seated in front of your charts, you should be there. If there's no high or medium impact news, why the fuck are you looking at your chart? Why are you looking at it? The first thing you're looking for is manipulation. That's what you're looking for. So if there is no high or medium impact news driver for that market you're looking at that day, what should happen? Well, whatever's in motion is likely to continue. What do I mean by that? If it's bullish, if it's been bullish for a couple of days and they haven't ran a buy side liquidity pool yet, just expect that to continue to be the narrative. But when there's high or medium impact news, expect some kind of flurry of contrarian view to enter the marketplace. It doesn't necessarily mean a reversal. It just means that there's going to be a lot of volatility, and that in itself produces and invites a new opportunity for you to take a trade. So going forward, in closing, because now these guys are back from lunch, trying to beat the walls down in here. I will be doing live sessions on YouTube, talking about the marketplace at real time data. Okay, I'll be quizzing you, asking if you see this. What do you think it's going to likely do? I'll point to where I think it's going to go. That's not a trade. That's not an entry. That's not a stop. And I don't give a fuck if that makes you mad. I've already explained why I'm not going to go into that level of detail. But hey, some of you want to see bias. Bias. If I have just a bias ICT, please help me ICT with the bias. I've already done that. Okay, I've already done it. Where I'm wrong, well, CPI, PPI, and FOMC, and non-farm payroll. Those are carnival rides. That's the reason why I teach my students not to do them. And to prove it, you saw it happen just recently. No problem. Wait for the dust to settle. Still took a trade. Beautiful. But some of you, even with live sessions, even with me outlining where the market's likely to go, will not be satisfied in 2023. And I want you to listen close. Okay, sit down. If we were in the same room right now, I'd take your hand in my hand right now. I'd look you in your eyes and I'd say, go fuck yourself. I don't give a fuck if you like what I've done or don't do. Okay. I'm not obligated to you. I'm going to do what I think is right for my students. And if you think that way, you're not a student. So I don't give a flying fuck. Okay. So there we go. So in 2023, shit's about to get real. You're going to see things you haven't seen yet. I'm going to have some new toys released into the industry. I'll show you some things that I've kept tucked away. I'll demonstrate some things I won't be teaching that will absolutely kick the shit out of everybody. And I'll just do a clinic on how these markets really work and how a market maker really operates. So I want you to enjoy your holiday season. I want you to rest up. If you've had some difficulties in the last month and a half, 2 months, that's fine. I've had no bias because of all of the extra risk in the market, all these things that we're all dealing with sentiment-wise. We're coming towards the end of the year. There isn't a lot of risk that's being taken by large investors and deep pools of liquidity. So you have to be what? You have to be very nimble and intraday trader only. Don't be mad about not missing, or don't be mad about missing rather, any price runs. Don't be upset about that. Forgive yourself for that. I'm not looking at the chart saying, oh, I wish I would have. No, because I know what I'm looking for is going to repeat, and that's plenty. And that gets back to that list of the things that keeps you from being successful. Where are you in those three things? You're holding yourself back. You have unrealistic expectations, and you're doing too much, which invites fear and greed to be impactful in your decision making. All of those things are deeply rooted in who? Me? No. Somebody else is a mentor? Nope. It's you. It's always been you. And you can get a case of the ass and say, oh, this guy's a dick. He takes no responsibility for anything he does. Everybody's the reason why they fail. Yes, nailed it perfectly. You are the reason why you failed. I was the reason why I failed. And I was the reason why when I changed certain things, I didn't have those same failures. I still had failures, but I had no more reoccurrence of the same things I was failing with as I did when I was a 20-year-old trader. So rest up, enjoy your holidays. You want to look at the charts? Go right ahead. Okay. My charts are off. I don't have them open. I can't answer any questions about charting because I'm not going to look at them. The first Tuesday of February, that's when my charts are going to come up. Okay. Now, what would change that? If Bitcoin goes below 10,000, I'm going to look at the charts. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there. No extra charge. But apart from that, I'm not interested in looking at anything. Okay. I'm not looking at anything. I don't care what the markets are doing. I'm going to enjoy the holidays, and I would hope you would do the same thing. I'm going to be resting. I'm going to be reading, and I'm just going to be just everything outside the market. Okay. So that's where we're at. I'm not going to be answering any questions. I'm not going to be digging into any forums, private group. Okay. I'm letting you build your question log up. Go in there and build up all the areas I've given you access to and have them there for me so I can go to town in February. But it'll only be 2 days a week that I do something live, and it'll be basically dictated by my personal schedule and the calendar. So if there's a higher medium impact news event, we'll be in there watching that. It will not be a whole day thing, just highlighting a small little area in market price action, and then we'll study that over the shoulder of ICT. Okay. But I promise there's going to be some amazing things taught to you coming up in 2023. You're going to see some really cool shit, stuff that you ain't never seen before. And I'm excited to share it with you. And just be content with me showing you other things I'm not going to teach, but I'm just going to blow your socks off. Okay. So that's it for now. Like I said, be healthy, be cheerful during the holiday season. Until I talk to you next time, be safe.